Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Claire, this is Breach Oath. As always, Claire Leagues come with the requisite shout out for trans rights. Leave people alone who are just trying to live their life. How about that? And that brings us to this deck that we're playing, which is from Eternal Weekend North America, played by friend of the show Liz, who made a deep run. I believe finished in the low 40s, like just missed the promo with this deck. We of course see both of Druids, and Atraxa, and Show and Tell, and Flash, and Forbidden Orchard. All of these are cards that go in Oath, which is a deck that I love, and I wish was better positioned in the metagame right now so I could play it. Liz tried to cover the gaps by including Underworld Breach in this Oath package. The strengths of Oath is that you dumpster decks that are trying to win with creatures. Decks like Aggro Shops, White Initiative, even the Lurrus control decks eventually got to put a Psychic Frog into play to win. And the card Oath of Druids really messes up those plans. The weakness of Oath is that faster combo decks can dumpster you. If your vision of doing it is resolving Oath of Druids, which requires your opponent to have a creature, also requires you to pass the turn and get the turn back, requires that trigger to resolve successfully. And then even all that happens, you get a 7/7 and you draw a bunch of cards. And then the game continues for as many turns as it takes for this Atraxa to kill your opponent. Oath is a very slow combo. It's a combo control deck. It's not a pure combo deck. And there are combo decks like Doomsday and Jewel Shops and Raker Shops and traditional Breach that don't need creatures in play to win, or at least not. I mean, in the case of Raker Shops, they do need a creature, but they could play it on the turn they kill you and it's fine. And those are decks that can push through, even if you do successfully Oath, trigger, get Atraxa, put some cards in your hand, they still have 2 or 3 turns to figure it out. That's the weakness of Oath. And the weakness of Breach is decks that don't let you cast lots of spells on a turn. Decks like Lurrus Control, decks like White Initiative, decks like Sphere Shops. So we can see how this puzzle piece clicks together. All of Oath's bad matchups are Breach's competitive matchups, and all of Breach's bad matchups are Oath's good matchups. It isn't free to just play 2 different combos in your deck. The slots used for the 2 Underworld Breaches and the Brain Freeze that are in this deck, those could be Okos, those could be other Besejus, those could be a variety of things, those could be main deck Null Rods to help combat your tough matchups directly if you're just pure Oath. Obviously, Breach doesn't want to see a Null Rod either, so that's not a card that's actually under 75 at all. It does require some pivoting to navigate both of these things. But what we get for our trouble is a way to attack the bad matchups of each plan with the other plan. And if they know that you're one thing, they have to think about the other thing. Like against Breach, you would normally bring in Graveyard Hate or Enchantment Removal, the cards like a Null, where Show and Tell Atraxa doesn't care about any of that. Likewise, Breach doesn't care about Containment Priest. And you get to put your opponent in a squeeze in both directions. We also have the cool dovetail of Oath mills you. The cards you reveal until you hit a creature don't go to the bottom of your deck, they go to your graveyard, which means that you could do something like fire Oath into a Containment Priest, mill 10 cards, exile Atraxa, and then play the Breach from your hand and use the 10 cards you just milled to go off. Lots of cool little things there. And when we're in one of the matchups that's particularly bad for Oath or Breach, we can just board those cards out and bring in cards that supplement the strategy that's actually good for that matchup. This makes sense in theory. Liz had a great run with it. I'm excited to try this out. This is Breach Oath from Claire. I'm on the draw in round 1. I am going to keep this hand. There's no Lurrus and my opponent has already mulled to 6. It smells like Bazaar to me. This hand needs an Oath or a Show and Tell, but it's ready to rip if it finds either. Okay, cool. It's not Bazaar. That's good news. We love drawing additional Atraxas. Okay, Mox Sapphire. I'm just going to brainstorm here. All right, Flash. I will take Flash. I can cast that. Breach is also in my hand. Okay, I'm going to put back This is actually super tight. So Boseiju goes back for sure. And I think Vamp Tutor. Though if my flash gets countered, I could upkeep Vamp for Oath, but I can't cast it because I need Orchard for that mana. Alright, I think Vamp Tutor is the one I want to put on top. Then I'll play Ruby and Orchard and pass. I have to go on their turn because Force of Negation is my protection. My suspicion is that this is traditional Breach. That is the most popular blue non-Lurrus deck right now. It could be Doomsday. Yeah, that deck's also pretty popular. Or is it the Mirror? Demonic Tutor. What do I want to do about that? Do I want to flash in response? I think I want to flash in the end step. I think that pause already told them I have a counterspell. If this is the Oath Mirror, I have Orchard, which gives me a huge advantage. They might be tutoring for Oko if they think this is a mirror. This could be traditional Bug as well. Like non-Lurrus Bug is what I mean by that. I don't know why anyone would be playing that deck, but that is something it could be. Black Lotus. That card's pretty good. Narset, Parter of Veils. Alright, well, I'm going to flash in response. And we'll see what kind of fight we're going to have. Force pitching Show and Tell. This is the mirror. Force pitching Atraxa on the show and or on the force. They've got one card left. Mindbreak Trap is not online. I will zoot in my Atraxa and see what we come up with. Brain Freeze. Merchant Scroll, stock up, Vamp. Okay, this Narset's not great, but we can figure it out. If I take Vamp, I don't have the Lotus to go Underworld Breach crazy here. And this is a build where I don't have Gaia's Blessing. Alright, I think I want Vamp Tutor, fetch land, stock up, and then my plan is to Vamp for Oath in the upkeep, and then play Oath and pass. Alright, you've got yourself a Narset. I have to imagine the build with Underworld Breach in it is massively favored in the Oath Mirror as well, which is normally just fucking Candyland. Like, that matchup is a mess. Flusterstorm. Alright, I'm hoping it will be too late for that. Upkeep, Vamp. I think I do want to grab Oath here. Hold on, can I win? Like, is there some clever line where I get Lotus here, then Lotus Breach, Vamp? If I get Lotus, I can Lotus stock up. I can't draw cards, so it would actually be really hard to get that Vampiric Tutor card. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to grab an Oath. I am miles ahead on the creature count. Drop. We know there's a blue card. If they have another force, they can fight here, but otherwise, I feel okay. At the second Narset activation, can they rebuild? Oko is not enough. Oko can elk my Atraxa, which is not great. Oko is one of the better cards in the mirror, generally. But I've got tricks. The Breach is in my hand, locked and loaded. And what they have to decide here is, do they want to elk one of their own things, or just make a food and try to beat me down, or start denying me mana? And they've decided to deny me mana, which is fine, because this also means they can't attack. If they were going to do that, I think they should have attacked for 2 first. Or unless their intent is to jump block and have fewer creatures, which makes some sense. All right, whatever. Oath, target you. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. Underworld Breach, Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor's in my graveyard. Atraxa triggers. Here we've got Brain Freeze. That one's pretty important here. Brain Freeze, Oath, stock up. I guess I want to fetch land. Just more cards in the graveyard is better than raw dogging a land here. Alright, done. These are in my hand. Draw for turn. I'm in the market for Black Lotus. Okay, I've got Mana Crypt in the graveyard. Okay, fetch. I'll get Volcanic Island. 1-2, Breach. Mana Crypt. Oh, I should have fetched black. Alright, if I miss here, I have Demonic Tutor. I actually have it, and I'm messing it up. That's fine. I'll try to figure it out. Mana Crypt. Oh, I have black. I have Forbidden Orchard literally right there. We're good. We're good. All right, Forbidden Orchard, Mana Crypt, Demonic, land, Vamp. Search my deck for Black Lotus. If my opponent has Gaia's Blessing in their deck, that's something I have to work through. It is extremely beatable, but I do have to work through it. And the way that you do that is counter your own Brain Freeze on the stack and hit them again. Okay, so Brain Freeze myself. I'll start there. This is all just fuel. Pop this graveyard out where I can see it. Black Lotus is back. I'm going to bank a bunch of mana with Black Lotus before I freeze myself out the rest of the way, and then I'm going to freeze them out the rest of the way. Freeze myself. I can get my opponent for a couple of these freezes along the way. All right, Flusterstorm is in my graveyard. Ancestral Recall's in my graveyard. Now I can kill them through a Gaia's Blessing. Lotus, replay Lotus. And I have 9-10 mana here. It costs 2 to freeze, 1 to Fluster, 1 to Ancestral, and 2 to freeze again. So that is enough. Plenty of cards in the graveyard. And freeze out the op. Right, they're not conceding, so they must have it. Soul Ring in their list. Right, there's Gaia's Blessing. Oh, conveniently, it was the last card I milled anyway, so I don't even need the Fluster. Opponent said oops in chat. Does that mean oops, they milled their Gaia's Blessing too late, or oops, they think this beats me? I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. All right, Ancestral Ryu. Oops. Cool. All right, well, the Oath Mirror mostly sucks, but I am excited to have Underworld Breach available to me in this shitty mirror. Oaths come out. I do that even in a regular Oath Mirror where you don't have Breach. You don't really need basic Island in this matchup. Pyroblast can deal with Oko and Tinker, which are ways that they could break the mirror, because everything in the Oath deck enables your opponent. Oath of Druids is symmetrical, Show and Tell symmetrical, Flash, Oko, Tinker are ways that you can just kind of play Magic on your own terms. And I'm going to try to make that not an option. Do I want 0 Oaths? Sometimes I leave 1 in just to tutor for if it's good for me and bad for them. And that usually just comes down to Orchard count. But with the breaches, maybe I don't need an Oath at all. What would I bring in? The Bolt? Maybe Mindbreak Trap? Just if it gets sloppy in the middle, casting this for 4 is fine. But Seiju could blow up an Oath if they have an early send on me. Soul Guide Lantern can... It's a cantrip that can also make Gaia's Blessing irrelevant. Though they're probably going to bring in Null Rods, actually. Yeah, I'm going to bring in my second Boseiju over my last Oath. I don't want any Oaths at all. Let's do it. And then sometimes you just have a hand like this, where I might just have a turn 1 Atraxa anyway. This is risky because if they have Atraxa in their hand, they also have Atraxa and they get the first crack at it. Our opponent has a Forbidden Orchard, and so do I. I'd love to draw a Flusterstorm or Pyroblast here. No such luck. Do I want to use my Lotus to stock up? I think I do. Because if they fight over this, if they spend mana, I get a creature, and I can start beating them down. If they 2 for 1, right, Force of Negation, exiling, Force of Negation, countering my stock up, and I am going to play out the Orchard here, because that card is sneaky good. Yeah, they're just giving me creatures. If it comes down to creature count, you really don't want to be a turn behind on Orchard development. If they just shove Oath right now, that's not good for me. I mean, right now, it doesn't matter. It's the same. Oh, no, it's not, because they went first. What am I even talking about? All right, Oath resolves. Oh, I think I can fizzle this, right? Is that how this works? It's been a while since I played Oath Mirrors. I think I can make myself an illegal target here. Or no, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? I am out of control right now. It doesn't trigger until next turn. Oh my god. All right. I have lost my mind, and I don't know what's going on. I played this like shit, and now my opponent... Or no, it won't trigger at all. No, we're good. We're good. All right. I'm spiraling out right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We're actually fine. Everyone's fine. We're having a good time, and it's okay. Yeah, because this simply won't trigger in their upkeep, and then we can keep up forever. Yeah, I had in my head that Oath will trigger for them in my upkeep, which is not how it works. However, Double Orchard will quickly bury me, which probably means I have to just send a show and tell, ready or not, and try to get the first Atraxa. All right, I'll fetch a Volcanic Island, draw for turn. Ooh, interesting. Well, they are going to trigger. So do I want to show and tell and risk them having... I could also just flash. And I still have my land drop, so that could result in the second Orchard, and then I catch up. If they have a counterspell, it doesn't matter what I do here. A force pitching Ancestral Recall. Okay, so they don't have another blue card. That much is clear, but they are about to have an Atraxa. Right, Orchard count high. I do have a counter available on their turn, and they are starting from one card in hand, so, I mean, you're saying there's a chance, I guess? I don't know. Okay, Atraxa milled a zillion forces. Time Walk is gone. Let's see what the Atraxa does. Flusterstorm, Vexing Bauble, Stock Up, Merchant Scroll, Ancient Tomb. Okay. There is Flusterstorm involved over there. If they take it, which they probably should. I think I'm cooked. They took Trop, Vexing Bauble, Flusterstorm, Stock Up. Those cards sound pretty good. Okay, I think I am supposed to counter this, because if they use their Flusterstorm to fight back on this, I don't actually care about Vexing Bauble. All right, heads up. I didn't fall for it. This attack doesn't change anything. Yeah, they can Oath forever if they want to. I hope they cast Stock Up. That would be great for me. Just tap out of this Flusterstorm. What could go wrong? Boseiju, right on time. I guess I could let them give me a bunch of guys in the end step and then destroy the Oath. What even is my plan here? Nothing good. I don't want them gaining 7 life. Okay, they gave me a Spirit in the end step. They gave me 2 Spirits in the end step. I'm going to destroy Oath. At least try to stop them from having an endless stream of Atraxas. But now they have lots of mana. They could start stocking up. Atraxa defeats almost any number of spirits in head-to-head combat. Any practical number, anyway. Surveil to the top. Stock up. One way I could have played this game differently is if I had flashed in their upkeep. I could have used Force of Negation to fight their Force of Will, but I was really trying to hit a land drop off of that flash, specifically, which is why I did it when I did. I don't play Okos. I do have Pyroblasts. Underworld Breach. I have that card too. Alright, I am gonna try to flush out this Flusterstorm. There's that. Getting the Flusterstorm, or the Show and Tell, into the graveyard gives me enough cards to breach Lotus Flash. I don't expect that to get through. We are officially behind. But in some miracle situation where my opponent's hand is just all Atraxas, or they're holding their Gaia's Blessing or something, there's a chance. Blue to Delta. Okay. Underworld Breach on the stack. I'm prepared to concede to basically everything. That'll do. Okay, game 3. Yeah, I don't think I'm changing anything here. The Soul-Guide Lantern is really the only maybe that I might have some value for. But I brought in my extra Boseiju. If all my opponent can do is Oath and Show and Tell, I think I gotta be okay with this showdown. All right, let's do it. On the play, my hand is pretty loose. I'm gonna mulligan this. It's getting worse. Go to 5. Jesus Christ deck, please. My family is starving. I'm on 4. Okay. Well, this sucks. I'm gonna bottom Pearl, Boseiju. I guess I have to bottom this Force. Disgusting. Alright, well, that sucked really bad. I do have Double Orchard, though. If they're on a Oath hand, the Oath is not actually going to work. Though if they're not on an Oath hand, I have a Double Orchard hand, which means that my Narset Parter Avails will die instantly. They just have turn 1 Show and Tell, or Stock Up. Stock Up's not as scary as Show and Tell, but they're both really bad. I guess I could have bottomed an Orchard and just sent turn 1 Narset with the other Mox. Yeah, 16 lands and the full spread of Mox and Mana Crypt Black Lotus. Yeah. Generally just trying to sniff out whether that is a deck problem or it just ran bad. And I think it's just a run bad. And this is one of the other problems with Oath, is that the lands that you have to keep for your deck to work also just kill you in games like this one. Like if my opponent just has a counterspell here, they might not even need a counterspell. They might just use the spirits to kill Narset and not even care. But I did draw Breach. If there's a way to cheese this game out, it's that one. Okay. They thought for a while and then let me have Narset. I'll take Mana Crypt. Narset's going to get attacked for 2 here and then die on the following turn. You've got an Orchard, which means I might have blockers, but all this other artifact mana, not looking good for me. Time Walk. All right, Narset's just dead now. Even better. They've made black mana. It's demonic. Cool. Okay, well, they made mana before attacking Narset, which means she's actually going to survive this turn cycle. They said in chat they forgot to attack first. Nice. Yeah, I was just saying that. I need them to make a mistake, basically. I need a miracle and a mistake. Block. Narset goes to 2, which means I still can't activate her, but it does mean that they will not be firing an Ancestral Recall this turn. But she will just die next turn, and I can't activate her anymore. Unless they use Forbidden Orchard, then she'll be around. Are we just casting Atraxa? Okay. Demonic Tutor resolved, then didn't do anything. That's sus as hell. Okay. My plan now is to vamp for Brain Freeze and hope that their hand just has nothing in it. Vamp for Brain Freeze. Storm is 3 on my turn, and hope that that does it somehow. Ancestral Recall. Sweet. Well, that's what they vamped for, or DT'd for. They should be pretty confident in casting just about anything here. Yeah, they tap 5 mana, then change their mind. We're getting Yogg-Willed. What's this black mana for? Bolas' Citadel from hand. That would be sick too. I saw their whole deck game 1 and didn't bother to take notes what they actually have. Sacked Lotus for green all of a sudden. This looks like Atraxa. Yeah, just Atraxa, cast it from hand. It is a legal play. Atraxa resolves thousands of counterspells. All right, I can't win. Mulda 4, too bad. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. My opponent has revealed a Lurrus, and my hand has the wrong color Moxen to do anything, and mostly doesn't do anything anyway, so at least the mulligan doesn't feel that bad. Meanwhile, there's this shit. Hell yeah. Snap keep this, and I probably bought Demonic Tutor out of these cards. Oh my goodness, opponent has Mulda 4. I know how that feels. I've done that recently. I'm not going to feel too bad for them yet, though. They might just Breach kill me on turn 1. That's actually really hard to do. Breach is not a fast combo deck. It's a resilient combo deck. Well, Black Lotus is a way to start a game on a Mulda 4. Vexing Bauble, okay. Just turn 1 Psychic Frog. Turn 1 Protected Psychic Frog. That's the way to Mulda 4. Good job. And the Vexing Bauble means my Mox Pearl isn't going to work. Ooh. Hold on. Well, game on, I guess. I will return Psychic Frog to your hand and pass. Well, that's fun. Okay, so they're going to replay Frog. I will resolve Oath, and then their Frog has to hit something seriously insane, or else what could even happen? Okay, now I don't even have to feed them a creature. Volcanic Island, Oath of Druids. Ship it. Okay, so Frog will hit, Vexing Bauble will draw, and then we'll see what they come up with. Like Time Walk is one of the better cards they could have here. They're still really far behind in Atraxa, though. Island. Fatal Push your frog. Okay. Honestly, I don't even care. That is a deal. All right, I could Time Walk into Atraxa right now. Yeah, I'll just take the free money, I guess. I'll start by Ancestral Recalling myself. And I generally would rather walk after Atraxa. Yeah, I'm going to make them have it here. And what it even means in this matchup is so thin. There's very few draws that matter. Like if they want to Fatal Push an Orchard every turn, that's fine. And this is the strength of Oath. It's like my opponent, I mean, they did mull to 4, but they also had turn 1 protected Psychic Frog, and now they're Dig Through Timing. Like they're doing really good considering they mulled to 4. And I am pretty content with all the stuff they're doing because the card Oath of Druids is just so devastating against them. End step. Fatal Push. Sure. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I could have stopped any of these, and I simply don't care. Okay, Pearl. Emerald. They've got 1 card in their hand. No creature. I'm 1 mana short of casting the Atraxa that's in my hand. Okay, I'm just going to see if Time Walk resolves. I'll stop goofing around now and just kill my opponent. Okay, now I Oath. And they don't even want to see it. So that's actually a mistake. The things that I mill off Atraxa, there are enough different builds of Oath, even if you're not expecting Breach Oath. There's enough different things going on that, like, do I have Gaia's Blessing? Do I have Tinker? Do I have, how many Okos do you see? Like, between the mill off the Oath and the reveal 10 off Atraxa, that's a lot of information just not taken. Luckily for my opponent, though, this is a matchup where I'm boarding out the Breach combo, and I'm just being an Oath deck. I did not see white mana in their deck. We saw a lot of lands, none of them white, which means Grafdigger's Cage is probably the card I need to think about. I like Pyroblast because it can kill Psychic Frog and take pressure off me. It also helps me win counter wars. I can cut Vamp Tutor in a matchup that's really about cards, ultimately. Like, I'm not trying to go fast. Vamp Tutor is card disadvantage because you spend a card to put a card on top of your deck, which you then have to draw. You're basically spending 2 cards to get 1, rather than Demonic Tutor, which is 1 card to get 1. Vampire Tutor and Mystical Tutor, cards like that are good in matchups that are about condensing the game around one thing. Like if I had Tinker in my deck, I would think differently about Vampire Tutor. Vampire Tutor is in the deck because Underworld Breach is in the deck, and if I'm boarding out Breach, then I don't need Vamp. Okay, I think I like this. I don't think I'm trying to mess around with Narset too much. I'm going to go like this, slightly improved in a matchup that's already really good. But I said that about last round, then mulled to 4, so we'll see. Okay, this one is risky. I have the Show and Tell, no Atraxa. I could turn 1 Demonic Tutor, but I have to give them a creature to do it and can't protect it. I'm actually going to mulligan this. I am happier with this. Keep bottom 1 of the Atraxas. Wasteland is annoying here, but I do play a lot of mana in the deck. Now I don't care about Wasteland anymore. Underground Sea and Mox Pearl. I'm going to go for a Demonic Tutor before I go for the Oath. If they've got a Spell Pierce or a Force and want to spend it, that's a fine spot to do it. Now I could grab Force if I want to go in on Oath. I could grab Ancestral if I just want to reload. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to get Ancestral here because that can let me have a powerful bait spell and then cast Oath of Druids afterwards. I'm 1 blue card short. If I could have protected Show and Tell with Force, or if I had another mana to like DT for Flusterstorm, that's something of mild interest. All right. Got me there. Don't got me anymore. All right. I am going to pass the turn in Ancestral in their upkeep. Fetch. I'll get Volcanic Island. Ancestral myself. Mental Misstep. Disappointing. Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, Oath doesn't work anymore. We're on Show and Tell. All right. Smoke them if you got them. Had to give them a creature. Don't want to do that. Mystical Dispute. Okay. And now they actually have pressure because Forbidden Orchard is not a very good card. But now I need a Beseju, a Into the Floodmaw, another Show and Tell, Flash. Those all play here. Pyroblast. Right on time, you asshole. Okay, I am not going to play this Oath until it's going to work, because I don't want to give them a second creature. Orcish Bowmaster. All right, just dumping out. Swamp. Another Bowmaster. All right, the damage is coming. Oh no. All right, well, Oath Gaming. All right, I got to actually check the clock now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a... If I cast a green spell right now, I die next turn. All right, it's not looking good. I'm actually on show and tell, flash, or bust at this point. Turns out 4 points of disruption is enough to get over on Oath. Stock up. All right, well, I could hit land Time Walk here and then see some more cards. They use the last card in their hand. I am going to counter it because I have to. Now I need Black Lotus. I am exactly deceased here. All right, yep, none of that is what I want. Okay, 4 pieces of disruption backed by a quick clock. Pretty good. Do I want to change anything about this? I still don't think so. Nope, game on. I could have this Ancient Grudge in to point at Grafdigger's Cage specifically. I think I have enough answers that I don't want to have a card that's so bad against everything else. Turn 2 show and tell with backup. I'll keep. I'd even have my fun of basic. Opponent mulled to 6. I hope they spend a card on Grafdigger's Cage here, or something that I don't need to care about very much. Ponder, okay, deal. Ponder did not shuffle. I need 2 pieces of free permission to survive this turn, which the deck does play plenty of. I just hope it's nothing as corny as Daze. I hope I get 2 actual forces out here, if they win the fight at all. These decks also sometimes have a 1 of Dress Down that they could put in, and Atraxa's just a 7/7. But I mean, that's still pretty good. All right, force pitching Spell Pierce. That means by sending it so fast. All right, force pitching Spell Pierce, force pitching Psychic Frog. The Spell Pierce means that it was right to send it. And we'll see how quickly they can reload here or present another clock. Grafdigger's Cage, all right. Stock up, let's go. I can't play around Spell Pierce, and if they had Daze, they would have played it. A Black Lotus, Force of Will, Vexing Bauble. I don't want more Atraxas in my hand. Do I want Black Lotus, Force of Will, or Vexing Bauble, Force of Will? Vexing Bauble, Force of Will is kind of awkward. I guess I want... Ooh, if I take Vexing Bauble, Black Lotus, I can just cast Atraxa next turn. Okay. Black Lotus. Fetch. I have black... Oh, I don't have white. All right, yeah, I have it out of the Lotus. So blue's good. Fetching Volk turns on some stuff. I could draw Pyroblast and cast it, but if I had fetched Trop, I could make sure Wasteland can't take me off Atraxa mana. They dumped a Null Rod. I'm glad they don't see that as important. I'm curious why it's in the deck, though. I mean, it is certainly helping here. All right. You have a Null Rod and a Wasteland. All right. Well, the plan has come together or something. I need to draw a mana to play this stock up. Easy. Easy. All right, here we go. Show and tell and flash. Just make sure some of this shit works. Okay. Passing the turn. I think Wasteland and like Spell Pierce, Mystical Dispute are the only cards I care about. I'm going to go with Show and Tell first, because if it works, it's the better one. And if they counter it, we're fine. Okay, they don't want to see the Atraxa. I love how much faith this opponent has in me. Just doesn't want to see any part of my deck when Oath triggers in game 1. Doesn't even want to see that I have Atraxa in game 2. And on to the next one. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I am on the play in round 3 against a non-Lurrus strategy. I am going to keep this Mox Orchard Oath hand. I could turn 1 Demonic and then protect the Oath on turn 2, or I could send it. No Lurrus revealed is... Like, if this is any Bazaar deck, I would rather just resolve the Oath. If it's any Shops deck, I'd rather just resolve the Oath. If it's White Initiative, I'd rather just resolve the Oath. Alright, I'm sending it. There's a big enough range here that I am happy with casting the spell. If I get Force of Willed, okay. Alright, well, that's in. This might be Jewel Shops that still just combos me out over the top, but if it is just about anyone else, I think I'm happy. Probe. And I know enough that their deck contains Gitaxian Probe. They're getting their point of damage in... It's what? Not White Initiative. It's not Chops. It's not impossible that a Bazaar deck would have Gitaxian Probe in it. I don't know that they normally do these days. So I think I'm against some blue combo deck. Tinker, Storm, Doomsday. Okay, Volcanic Island, Mox Jet. Opponent has decided to make a fight out of it. Abrade your own homie. Sure. That is fine. I'm going to Demonic Tutor here. Underground Sea. Demonic. I could get Ancestral in case this doesn't work, or I could get Time Walk, assuming that it will. I'm going to take Time Walk. I can give them a creature while casting Flusterstorm, but they do know about the Flusterstorm, which is complicated. Grixis mana confirmed. Gifts. Breach is live here. End step Float Blue. So they have a creature, but I have Flusterstorm, and then we go to my turn and Oath. That was a big mill. And we've got Brain Freeze, Brainstorm, Force, Scroll. Jet's a freebie. Misty Rainforest, I'll take. I'm holding Time Walk. It's pretty exciting. I think I want Force of Will more than I want any of these other instants I'm looking at. I'd like to make sure my thing I'm already doing works before I get greedy and try to do a second thing. Gotta watch out for mana drain here. Okay. Maybe they just wanted to see what I've got, and they're happy with that. But I think we're against Breach. I'd like Soul Guide Lantern and Besiege You in here. Island is not necessary. Flusterstorm looks pretty good. Pyroblast will definitely have targets. Breach is one of those faster combo decks that I warned you about. Narset might be good enough here. It's just, do I have stuff to cut, really? Bloodmaw, mid, Vamp. I am leaving the Breach stuff in, but I also kind of want to control this deck. And Mox Pearl is cuttable as well. That's the, air quotes, off-color Mox. Normally, Ruby is the off-color Mox because it doesn't cast Atraxa, but Underworld Breach is part of the deck now. Okay, I'm going to bring in this big pile of cards and play Quasi-Oath Control. I could bring in Tormod Script if that's what I want to do. I actually am going to shave a Force of Negation for a Tormod Script here at the last second if I can get it through. And maybe I want Mindbreak Trap in. Alright, that's a couple last-minute flurries of activity. I think I like those changes, though. Extremely reactive hand. But I am going to keep. If my opponent saw that I'm Oath and tries to just send on me, this is exactly the hand I want to have. They're on a Multi 6. Basic Island, Mox Ruby, Soul Ring, Mindbreak Trap's on. Alright, Mindbreak Trap's off. Tough. Alright, well, they played around that extremely well. I have Oath of Druids now. A Delta, Mox, Oath. Might as well put it into play, I guess. Probe. Okay, well, they know what they got to beat here. I just got to hope that they can't. I think I actually should have held my land drop back because the Oath is scarier with Orchard, and if they had Force of Will the Oath, I'm actually okay with that. And then I have Pyroblast in my hand. Yeah, I think I actually messed that up. Those little percentages, just stuff like how you sequence your land drop, could be worth 2 cards in a matchup like this. Stock up, well, I am going to Pyroblast that. And if we get in a fight, Mindbreak Trap will be on. Mock Sapphire can come through. That one's okay. Orchard. Time Walk. That card's really good. If I find the Orchard, I can turn the corner into Atraxa immediately. It's also blue to pitch for Force of Negation if we have to get there. I can hardcast Mindbreak Trap right now. This is going to come down to who can get an engine going. My engine looks like Forbidden Orchard. Their engine looks like starting to chain stock-ups together. But if we're both just sitting here with mana showing, then it's functionally a top deck war, where my best draw is uncounterable and their best draws are all counterable. I'm not desperate enough to just cycle Time Walk. I want that to do something when I go for it. Black Lotus, okay. Powerful stuff. Lots of mana showing. Dak Faden. I don't want to play against that card. Force of Negation on the hard cast. This is their second spell. Any follow-up can be Mindbreak Trapped, and they don't know about Flusterstorm. Taxian Probe. Show me your secrets. Oh, wow. Okay. Well. Look at this. Vamp Snuff out Yogg-Will Soulrend. So I could Underworld Breach, probe them just to draw a card here. This hand is... There's two bad cards here. And then two cards that I think I can just beat. All right, I am going to chill for a turn. But Value Breach is on my radar. And they are on proper-ass Storm here. Ugh, that card sucks for me. What does that do? That over the next couple turns can get access to Time Vault, like Vamp for Time Vault. They could also go get... Well, if I interact with this, I lose, so I just have to accept that it was a good draw. Okay, digging for... Are they going to get Mox Jet to turn on their hand? They are. All right, Jet resolves. That's two spells. And they're going to pass. So they have no actual interaction. And this would be a great turn to draw a Forbidden Orchard. Yeah, baby, ship it. I guess they could Snuff Out. Yeah, Snuff Out does kill the Orchard token. They don't have a swamp. Easy money. All right, cool. We did it, gamers. They had a hot rip. I followed back with one of my own. Time Walk. This is a matchup where I have to use the Time Walk proactively. I go into my walk turn. We're in here. Oath is triggering. There's Breach in my hand, which could convert to a win in a variety of directions. They can Soul Rend Atraxa. Okay, I would like Force of Will, stock up, Beseiju Atraxa in my hand. And I get to draw for turn. I can Breach and cast Time Walk twice. That might be enough. This is my last Breach, though, because one was milled over. If that's not good enough, nothing will be. Do I have ways to get Breach back? I don't think I do. Nope. The cards that I have are the cards that I have. Beginning and end of conversation. Okay, I could stock up here. I could also just counter the Soul Rend, I guess, and then guarantee Atraxa hits twice. Yeah, Atraxa is black for Snuff Out. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna Time Walk twice here, and then pass with a handful of gas. All right, Underworld Breach. I could also scroll for Brain Freeze and try to high roll this. I have Ruby and Jet in the graveyard. Okay, there's the Soul Rend. I can fluster this. I can also force this. Yeah, I'm going to force it. I know their hand, and I know I don't care about it. Yeah, force pitching the other Atraxa. That's what that was for. Right, I'm just going to think for a second if there is a deterministic line here before I do something incomplete. I have Storm is 3. I can make it 4. The other thing is, okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3 is scroll. Brain Freeze comes from my hand. I have Jet and Ruby already in here, so I can build some Storm and leave blue floating. Okay, I'm going to play Ruby. I've decided to go for it. Ruby. This just leaves me with an extra blue after the action passes. Breach, Flash, land exiled. I'll get my Brain Freeze and then freeze myself. I have Mox Jet and a land drop. Yeah, this deterministically mills my deck. We're actually good here. And make sure I haven't exiled anything. Nope, no, we're good. We're good. It's there. A mill. There's Lotus. Okay, there's Ancestral. It's all there. The Fluster's in my hand. Otis from the graveyard. That should do it, team. Opponent asked if I want to play it out for content. Not if you don't want to watch. GG's. Cool. All right, I mean, these Dark Ritual, Storm, Yogg-Wheel decks are traditionally bad matchups for Oath. And I mean, obviously, I just nut drew them game 1 when they weren't in a position to push back right away. And then game 2, the mill and the cards basically put me to exactly enough to brain freeze myself into a winning position. So cool. I mean, that dovetail, it cut off the line of just patting my hand with 3 counter spells and hoping it stops their Vamp plus Yogg plus Tez, which, maybe it did, but also now we don't need to find out. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/TheResleevables. I am on the play in round 4 versus a non-Lurrus strategy. I have a lot of interaction. If they're Doomsday specifically, this hand's pretty good. Otherwise, it's mid. I'm going to try it for science. I am going to play Underground Sea and pass. Blue to Delta. Mana Crypt. Do I force this Mana Crypt? I don't think so. Though, I did stop to think about it. Come on, good card. Another land, a Mox, something to get this stock up off the ground. Or that shit. Okay. Well, sure. I've heard of this one. We're clearly against some sort of fast combo deck, a Tinker strategy, Doomsday maybe, something like that. But sometimes just sending it on the play is what we got to do. Force pitching Hull Breacher. Okay, so they're doing that. I'm going to force back pitching my stock up and hope this is good enough. The stock up is my refill if Oath doesn't work, but I'm just really hoping Oath works. A end step fetch, Mystical Tutor, spooky. Anything that can be got by Mystical Tutor can be got by Force Negation. What do you get here? Something that tries to win the game outright, a bounce spell to clear the Oath for a turn, Time Walk, Ancestral. Depends on the deck, which I don't have a ton of information about, though Hull Breacher is interesting. Tinker, all right. Yeah, good bet. Okay, I think if they had another counterspell, they probably would have fought over Oath more, though maybe not if your plan is to protect your Tinker. I'm going to force the Tinker as well and just cross my fingers. Okay, cool. We're against some sort of blue Tinker deck. We got a XD face in the chat. Yeah, that was the nuts, no doubt about it. Okay, Pyroblast is coming in versus various Tinker decks. Flusterstorm looks good. I think this is a matchup I cut a bunch of Oaths because they are going to be a faster combo deck than me. Ancient Grudge is interesting. If they're a Time Vault deck, this gives me more buttons to push against that. I am going to turn an island into a Boseiju here, for that button at least. The Hull Breacher is probably telling me a lot, though I haven't played a lot of Vintage since the North American EW. This is my first league really getting back into thinking about Italy. So I think there is important information that I'm missing right now. But I also think that all these cards are going to be good against whatever they're doing. And then we can have a game 3 to try to figure it out. Mindbreak Trap's probably good enough. Narset's a maybe. I guess I'm just pretty low on Vamp Tutor as a person in society. Lightning Bolt kills Hull Breacher, but doesn't really help versus busted Tinker lines. I don't know if they're going to be like a Yogg-Will deck. Okay, I am submitting these cards as they currently stand, and then we'll learn more. That's the flip side of killing your opponent on turn 2. You don't know everything about their deck, though I do know quite a bit. This is mid. I like Flusterstorm. The rest of the shit kind of sucks, unless they come up with a flash or show and tell quickly. I'm going to keep, though. Knowing that they're a fast combo deck, having Flusterstorm up early and often is something I'm happy with. Oh no, the old upkeep Ancestral. You're going to get me here. Fair enough. Resolves. Oh, right on time, you stupid asshole. All right, Underground Sea, Mox Pearl. I'm just going to pass. I'm not going to time walk for a land drop here. Versus Saga. Terrifying. All right, time walk. I will fluster this. Their time walk's actually doing something here. That Urza Saga is real money. Big Rip, Show and Tell. Flash. Well, kinda. And me without a Flusterstorm. I'm going to pass here. If they use mana to Urza Saga, that's a window I could flash into. Looted Delta. Stock up. I will respond to that with Flash. This seems like the best window I'm going to get for a minute. Force Pitching Time Twister. Okay. And then stock up resolves. A stock up's good. I'm not going to fetch because my colors are kind of a mess in this deck. I'm going to time walk. I think it is actually time to do that. And now I am going to fetch. Get a red. There's only one Oath in my deck. Oh, great. All right, pass. This mental misstep. Teasing me, haunting me, making fun of me. I will at least take this opportunity to learn more about my opponent's deck. Manifold Key. I'm technically not dead to that. Time Vault. Oh, fuck, I should have bounced Key in response. Yeah, I blew it. All right. Yeah, this lets them have an extra turn. The misstep, I was just thinking I'll bounce Time Vault, and I'm mostly just spiraling out here because I'm so far behind. But I was thinking I'm going to bounce Time Vault by myself a turn, but bouncing Key and countering it on the way back down is so much better. Yeah, they just get an extra turn here for no reason. All right, misstep that, and I will concede to... All right, enjoy your extra turn. I'll concede to anything else that does that. A Tezzeret. Yep, and Tezzeret is itself a win con, so we don't have to keep playing. Okay. They are a Tinker Time Vault deck. Ancient Grudge looks a little better now. I still like Fluster, still like Floodmaw. We saw Hull Breacher and Time Twister in their deck. Maybe Narset is necessary. Shave the Pearl. And what's the worst card still in my deck? I don't think it's Atraxa. I don't think it's ever Atraxa. Even though I am lower on ways to put her into play. She's always blue. Hard casting her always becomes a late game plan. I mean, Floodmaw is kind of just like a bad Ancient Grudge. It is a blue Ancient Grudge, though, and we've seen Hull Breacher. So it's not without text. I think I am cutting this Floodmaw, though. Yeah, alright. This makes enough sense to me that I'm going to try it. Steel Sabotage, Consign to Memory are considerations. They're not useless, but I don't think that's where I want to be. On the play, okay. I will keep this hand that has lots of interaction in it, and a slow path to stock up. I do miss having a Surveil land in my deck. You can't because the mana is so hungry in this deck, but I do miss it compared to the other Oath builds. Right, land pass, and I don't plan on fetching because I actually do want to draw mana to get stock up going. Ooh, my own Ancestral, exciting. Now it's going to be about timing where to put that, because I've already missed the window to do it in their first upkeep, which is when you generally want to do it. Opponent is Vamp Tutoring. Okay. I'll let that resolve. I think what I want to do here is start a fight where they cast whatever they're going to cast. I force it. They force back. I Ancestral. And then we'll see what happens. Ooh, since he's top, that's not a very exciting thing to do. All right, I'm going to get a Trop. And I will fire my Ancestral here. It sucks that it gets flustered. But if we can start a fight of any kind. All right, or if it just resolves, that's pretty good too. All right, sweet. And I get to probe them and know if Atrax is going to be good. What you working with? All right, they're Ancestraling in response. They did have a pretty good play. I can just Force of Negation this, but that's pretty bad if they have follow-up, though. Yeah, I'll just force this. Volk. C. Let's get the gang together. All right, counter your Ancestral the hard way. They've cast one spell this turn. Now they've cast two spells this turn. Okay, your Ancestral is going to resolve. And then I see what you're cooking with. Yogg-Will, Mystical Tutor, 2 lands. And all I can do here is pass. They don't have enough mana to set up a Tinker right now. Yeah, spinning top in the upkeep is fine. That was cool that we were both playing chicken over the Ancestrals. There's the Delta. And let's see what happens here. Mental Misstep can counter their Mystical Tutor. That's good, because if they Mystical for like Fluster and then try to flip top, I can counter the Mystical, if that's their plan. I could stock up or Show and Tell here. I could also just like pass. I'm going to Show and Tell. And I am prepared to misstep the Mystical Tutor. There's one unknown in hand, plus whatever Sensei's Top might come up with. Though my hand is pretty clunky, and my mana is not about to develop. Like, if the Atraxa doesn't come into play here, I'm in some trouble. They could also do something super messed up, like draw Bolas to sit it all into their hand off of Sensei's Top, and then let Show and Tell resolve. Spinning top first. All right, drawing a card, and then resolving the look at 3. So they're getting rid of Sensei's Top for good here. But that means the top card of the deck was one that they wanted anyway. All right, Atraxa is coming in. They could put in Time Vault or something fucked up. All right, they just put in a land deal. I'm happy with that. I would like a bunch of mana to arrive out of this. All right, we've got Force of Will, Atraxa, Narset, Volk, Sapphire. Okay. That is a big grip of cards with a bunch of counter spells involved. I have to discard 2 cards in this end step, but I think I can live with that. Do I think holding up Ancient Grudge is better than Merchant Scrolling for another counter spell? His Yogg-Will is right there, so I have Mindbreak, Force. Yeah, I might actually scroll here. Okay, scroll time. And I'll grab Force of Negation. That one's more castable next turn. And I guess with this spread that I've elected to keep, I just have to discard Grudge and Beseiju. Just max out my blue cards. I have decided to, by playing the Merchant Scroll, I've decided to fight on the stack rather than fight artifacts that come into play. Mana Crypt resolves. 1 spell. Tinker. Force of Negation, exiling Atraxa. That's 2 spells. Mindbreak Trap plays now. And using the Force of Negation means they can't Yogg-Will this back if they somehow end up in a spot where that matters. Tinker's in exile, and they're just shipping it back. Oh, they're in trouble. Okay, I draw for turn. Forbidden Orchard. Honestly, I'll take any mana source here. I'm not going to be picky. Atraxa take a chunk. And then, how do I want to do this? If I can play Narset and stock up here and still have all my free permission up. All right, I'm going to start with Narset. They're fetching in response. That probably just fetched away the Sensei's Top that they buried. Mystical Tutor. In Misstep. I've got it. I'm going to use it. We're in the final showdown. I just need them to not get anything going. Misstep, my Misstep. Okay. Your Tutor will resolve. Their hand is Yogg-Will. Tinker is in exile. Oh, I actually should have tapped. Oh no, I have Forbidden Orchard. It's fine. And my plan is to spend all my mana. Time Walk is the best they can do. Ooh. Okay. Narset found a spread. All right, opponent doesn't want to talk about it anymore. They're done. Cool. All right, we have taken another traditionally difficult matchup for Oath. And I don't know that Breach had anything to do with that, but in Oath, beating fast combo decks just always feels validating. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in the final round against another non-Lurrus deck. This hand has access to turn 1 stock up with protection. If I Black Lotus for black, I could actually vamp and then stock up into whatever I vamp for. Or I could stock up leaving a black floating and then vamp when I'm done. I don't know what I'm playing against though, which is a problem. I am definitely going to keep the hand. I guess based on their mulligans, like if they Serum Powder here, now I have a lot of information. If they reveal a Chancellor of the Annex, I have a lot of information. So I might still get some info before I make any decisions for my turn. Alright, they just kept 7, no info. If I stock up into Mox Oath, I would prefer to not have floated a black. Alright, this is fine. I'm just going to stock up. Boing. Okay, Oath found. Definitely taking that. And do I want Vexing Bauble involved? That's good against a lot of decks on turn 1. Alright, yeah, Oath Vexing Bauble. And I'm going to lead on my red, because if they're a Wasteland strategy, I'd rather have blue on the or green on the other side. Ancient Tomb. Void Mirror. We did it, gamers. Alright, I will resolve this Oath of Druids. And now they have to win without playing a creature. Witch plus Meadow. Nice to see one of those gone. That's one of their outs to Oath. My hand is not particularly well suited to this matchup right now, but I have had a really good start. Oh, if they have March of Otherworldly Light, that's actually sick. Chalice on 1. Okay, that turns off my Brainstorm and my Vamp. Another Force. I'm going to draw a card with Vexing Bauble. Alright. We're not in great. I mean, it's hard to know how many cards in their hand are blank right now. And their own Void Mirror is turning off all of the Moxen that my Vexing Bauble was turning off. But if they start wasting me, this could get bad. Oh, that's rough. And I can't fight back. Alright, well. I need to draw a land to cast this Show and Tell. They've got a White Plume Adventurer. Yep, still can't interact with that. Alright, land off the top deck, please. Tutor to Plains. A land? Okay. This one showed up a turn late, but I am still happy to see it, I guess. But they have scary things they can put in. Oh, they put in nothing. Not even the Plains. Alright, what do I want? I want a land, an Oath, stock up. Do I want stock up more than I want scroll? Probably not. Scroll, Sapphire, Flusterstorm. Do I want this Attrax in my hand? Don't think so. Yeah, I probably did more than I needed to there. Clean up, discard Vampiric Tutor and Flusterstorm. Though Flusterstorm is the one that can still... Okay, opponent went into the Lost Well instead of the Forge, which is a good sign, but then they kept both cards on top, which is a bad sign. Caracas, bad news. That one is a complete nightmare. Like if that was Solitude or something, at least we would gain a bunch of life. But as it stands, I'm mostly cooked here. Like, what do I need to do? I need to... If I can bridge into Breach, I would need to remove Void Mirror for that to work. Oh no, more cards. Oh my goodness. Alright, big beats. This puts them into the stash right away. Or they could... Yeah, alright, so they have a treasure. And you get to untap some cards. Okay, I'll land. This lets me Merchant Scroll. Scroll probably wants to get... And it wants to get into the Floodmaw, but that doesn't work either. What does Scroll do here? Scroll could get Freeze and just try to outmuscle. Is it? I don't think that's even possible. All right. Okay. Well, I'm casting Oath of Druids. My opponent will be attacking me for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8. If I want to scroll now, and I guess I do, they'll be attacking me for 9. All right, I gotta try to put whatever pieces together are possible to put together. Flash is another round of gas next turn. Is Flash better than Brain Freeze? I'm looking for Beseiju, I guess, is the card I need to... I need to Beseiju the Chalice and then bounce the Void Mirror. That's asking a lot. Alright, I guess I'm taking Flash. And then pass the turn. Alright. Hope I don't die. F6. There's the planes. Oh, that's bad. Anointed Peacekeeper can make flash cost more. I can still play it, but I was pretty much counting on that other stuff. They haven't seen any breach cards yet. Atraxing into Time Walk is actually almost good enough. Like, that would at least bully the Caracas. Oh my god. Or not. Alright, bad news. And their top card is another Anointed Peacekeeper. Well, that is the difference between Oath that triggers immediately and Oath that doesn't. Is your opponent... I had Oath in play for, what, 2, maybe 3 turns this game, and didn't have the Orchard. I would like to use this ability. Okay, there's Breach. There's Boseiju. Boseiju, Breach are 2 of the pieces. My Into the Floodmaw is still in the deck somewhere. I have not found Time Walk, but I could Demonic Tutor for it. Right, I think I need Demonic. And then I'll take Jet and Freeze. Just trying to get the pieces together here. All right, draw for turn. Oh, right. Fucking Archon of Emiri is in play. I can't even, like, start to do anything. Ay. Yeah, never mind. Oh, I even drew Floodmaw. God damn it. This Archon of Emiri, last card out of the hand, off the top, actually is going to win them the game. It took all of these cards, including this one, to get to this point. Tough. Okay. Is there anything I can do? I don't think so. Nope. One too many lock pieces. Okay, the Breach part of the deck comes out. Ancient Grudge, Lightning Bolt, Steel Sabotage, Consign to Memory, Mindbreak Trap, Boseiju, these all come in. Breach, Freeze, Fluster, Misstep, Probe, Vamp, and this is what's left. We go pure Oath. Let's do it. That game was insane. But that is how it feels when you lose to White Initiative as Oath. It's like, just one less thing is usually what it takes, and that is exactly what it took. On the play, I am going to keep this hand. It doesn't do everything on its own, but it gets there and has good protection. Ancestral myself in their upkeep. Okay, I have 2 forces that can get my Oath of Druids down. Open for the best here. Basic planes go, hell yeah. Okay, Orchard Oath, and passing the turn. Black Lotus. I'm going to Force of Negation this, because no good will come of it. Ancient Tomb, March, Force of Will, Exiling Flash, Chrome Mox, the party's not over yet. Cast Grafdigger's Cage for 1 mana, or pitch a card to a second March. Can I just Oath cleanly? Okay. Orchard Oath Double Force. At least got me to the point where I'm triggering Atraxa. Milled a lot of cards this time, and Breach is not there to save me. Swords to Plowshares. Well, shit. Alright, that happens. And we've got a bunch of stuff. There is 1 Atraxa in my deck currently. There's 1 in my hand. I mean, this one's technically in my deck as well, but I don't want to put it in my hand is what I'm saying. Force of Will. Stock up. Oath. Valk. Done. A draw for turn. Another stock up. They've got 2 cards in hand, and we know that Show and Tell can go wrong. Is my Time Walk gone? Yes. Alright, well, this might be a game that we end up losing to just running out of threats. I hope that's not the case. Alright, are there fetchables left in my deck? Yes. Alright, I do want to fetch because I know there's an Atraxa in the bottom 7 cards. And do I want to stock up right now? I think I do. Consign to Memory, Mox Pearl, Ancient Grudge, Demonic Tutor. I think I do want the Mox. And it's Consign or Grudge. There's not much left in my deck to Demonic for. I guess I want Grudge in case they come up with a Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, passing the turn. They've got 3 cards in their hand. I've got 2 Atraxas left in my 16-card deck. They've got Caracas. This means I can't Oath this turn. Do I have any Besejus left? There's one Boseiju in the deck. Okay. Hard mode activated. No thanks. Draw for turn. A Mindbreak Trap. Showing up right on time. Stock up, looking for the other Boseiju. Found it. I'll take Boseiju, and I'm actually... Or I have to take 2 cards. I was going to decline, but that's illegal. Okay. And Brainstorm, actually, is pretty good here. That can put Atraxa directly on top of the deck from my hand. And how do I want to do this? Brainstorm now. That doesn't change how many cards are in my hand. Okay. I am going to Brainstorm now, though. Put back... Okay, Lightning Bolt's good. Flood Maw's good. Put back Misty Rainforest, or put back the other Oath and the Atraxa. And I guess I'm just discarding Misty Rainforest. Or I could discard Ancient Grudge. That still works in there. But not against the card I'm worried about. All right, I am going to discard Misty Rainforest after all. Wasteland takes out my red. That's okay. I've got other red. Upkeep, Oath, trigger. Before it happens, Boseiju the Caracas. They're floating white. Floating Bounce a Legend. My favorite joke. Okay, that's cleared. Containment Priest. That resolves. That's what Lightning Bolt is for. Bolt that. I would like to use the ability. Tracks it from the top of the deck. We view all of the cards remaining in my deck. I am going to say no to all of them. Do I want Consign to Memory? I guess I could take Consign to Memory and leave the rest. Draw a land and pass the turn. Hope they don't have a second Caracas. Wasteland's fine. Go to my turn. Decline Oath. Draw another Atraxa. Take the first of 3 necessary hits to win. Pass. Another Ancient Tomb. Demonic Tutor. Attack. And I think in the end step, I'm just going to discard Ancient Grudge. Not trying to get cute with anything. I want all my mana up, all my options available. Swords to Plowshares. Force pitching Show and Tell. Okay. Wow. What a battle. Do I want? No. I think it... I do not want to put Breach in my deck just for the alternate option, because, I mean, I guess if their deck is full of Containment Priests and Swords to Plowshares, Breach might actually smoke them. But it's not like they board out their Archon of Emerias to do that. Yeah, I think I just have to have faith in the 4 Atraxas I have, the 2 Boseijus to remove Caracas. What's it look like if I have 1 Breach in my deck and no Brain Freeze? Is that clever or is that nonsense? Because my answers to Caracas are not spells. Like, I could have Underworld Breach in here, just use a stocked graveyard and, like, Time Walk 4 times. That's an option. Vexing Bauble I don't actually want on the draw against this deck, so I guess I am going to bring in 1 funky little value Breach, though I don't think I'm going to bring in Brain Freeze to go with it. Alright, here we go. Alright, Mox Orchard Oath with double protection. I'm going to keep. And this is a hand where I have to be willing to force a negation, a Mox, to keep them from developing. Oh, they have Chancellor. Bad news. Okay, well, I won't be forcing a Mox. Plains. Vexing Bauble. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, well, you got it. Black Lotus. Well, that doesn't work either. Okay, basic island. Mox Jet. It gets countered twice. I will not pay the 1. No. And pass the turn. Yep, I mean, Vexing Bauble, backed by Chancellor. I would have forced it if I could, but I couldn't. Being on the play with this sequence, pretty fucking good. But we're not done yet, because that does mean one of the cards in their hand is Chancellor the Annex, which is not very good. I can still, like, if they name Oath here, which I think they probably have to, I can still Merchant Scroll for an answer to Vexing Bauble, and then rip out of this. At least I hope that's what happens. Draw for turn. Oh, do I win? Do I win immediately? Okay, Forbidden Orchard's in play. If I Floodmaw the Bauble, I can then spend 4 on Oath. Alright, we might be out. Alright, cast with Gift. You can have a fish. Black Lotus. Blue, 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 green. Oath of Druids. And pass. I cannot beat Witch Enchanter here. I can beat a March, though not if they play their Bauble first. I guess I just have to force Bauble on the way down, no matter what. Void Mirror. Well, that's the same thing as Vexing Bauble, isn't it? If no colored mana is played, if no mana was spent, I think this is all the same shit. All right, I'm in trouble anyway. If they have 2 of these, then you have 2 of these. Okay. And Oath is going to trigger. We got that far. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. Pretty bad Atraxa hit here. I milled one of my Besejus, but that's okay. I guess I'll take Flash, Trop, and Stock Up. And yeah, sure, I'll take the Ruby. Done. Draw for turn. I am just going to pass with Hardcast Force of Negation available. That at least counters Swords to Plowshares. Archon of Absolution. All right, pro white creatures can't attack you or Planeswalker you control unless they pay 1 for each of those creatures. Yeah, well, that card I'm going to have to Lightning Bolt to get through. But my opponent's not really doing anything over there. Do I want to Oath, the old value Oath, into Voidwalker or Void Mirror and Vexing Bauble? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I want to stock up this turn. Okay, drawing a land is good. Is stock up better than scroll for Ancestral? Probably. Stock up. Atraxa turns on Flash. Pretty soon I can hardcast Force of Will. Right, Force of Will, and do I want this Atraxa? That's Atraxas I can't Oath, but it is a lot of looks at Lightning Bolt. Okay, I will take that to go with my Flash. Haha. Can't attack, even as a joke. And Chalice check. They remembered. I had to discard that anyway. Let's have some fun. I pass the turn. All right, Chancellor of the Annex and some unknown other shit in hand. Seasoned Dungeoneer is actually really good. This pushes proper damage at me. Because this thing is a cleric, it can get the buff. Arcane can also attack me, but it doesn't have Vigilance, which means it should probably not. Mox Pearl, they're not going to keep that. Can't block. And big turn to find Lightning Bolt, I guess. Draw for turn, another Mox. Flash, put in Atraxa, keep. Didn't even ask me which one to keep because of the way that works. All right, there's Lightning Bolt. That's the card I was looking for. I'll take Beseju and I guess Demonic Tutor. And I don't actually want these other cards. All right, are we in team? Lightning Bolt Archon. Race is on. Hit ya. I get the initiative, even though that doesn't do anything in my deck. Well, my basic's in play. It normally would do something. And do I play Beseju or keep it as a land? I think I have to keep it, or keep it as Beseju. And I'll just discard Mox Pearl in the end step. All right, game on. They're at 5. Dobbs, as they say. We're going to 3, cracking off the Vexing Bauble. Okay. Their hand is Chancellor, Plains, and 3 unknowns. 2 of them were just drawn. Okay. That resolves. That card doesn't save them. If they followed up with a Caracas, that could be rough. Like if they name Beseju with this, play Caracas, and Wasteland me, that's exactly the squeeze. Or they can have nothing and die. Whoa. All right. A tight one. Well, a 4-1 record, losing only to Traditional Oath, ironically. A matchup that we should have this crazy alternate plan against. And this was sweet. Breach won some games that otherwise would not have been won. Atraxa won a lot of games just by herself, as she does. We identified some weaknesses, like Caracas in the deck, where you only have 4 Atraxas, no way to recur them, and in a matchup where you want to board out your breaches, which becomes complicated. Like, do we need to solve for that, or is that a fringe case? You can solve for that in deck building. I think this Vamp Tutor is a flex slot. You don't really need that. I think we could live without Mana Crypt, honestly. And the card is obviously great, and we're a show and tell deck. Maybe we don't want to live without Mana Crypt, but I think we could if we're looking to solve problems. Do we need all 4 stock ups? With Breach as a whole extra win condition, the traditional idea of just fill your hand with cards till your opponent can't win anymore. Like, we have more critical hits than a normal Oath deck does. So like maybe having these slots means we don't need all 4 stock ups. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm not trying to change the deck right away, but the games felt good. The Oath part of the deck felt really good. The Breach part of the deck felt fine a bunch of times. And we did beat a bunch of bad matchups. Well, we actually split them. We beat 2 bad matchups, we beat 2 good matchups, and then we lost to the Mirror, which is, at least on paper, a good matchup with as we are this build of the deck. So pretty solid showing. As always, I love playing Oath. Claire, thank you for asking me to play this. I will be considering it as Italy draws near and I have to pick a vintage deck. Liz, thanks for the list and the chats about how to play it. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.